Good morning, zookeepers. Today we are making an enclosure for the Amur leopard, and my idea behind it, I want to kind of do like a house and have like a sort of tropical house sort of feel with it, and then like a offshoot area at the back where it's just going to hold a bedding area for it. And I was like sort of playing around how I wanted the building to look. In the end, I end up going for like a basically a metal on top of like some like stone, which kind of makes me feel like it's kind of tropical jungle stone. I don't have the tropical pack yet, so I don't have like access to any of the jungle temple stuff. But we'll try and go for our own sort of feel. Uh, and basically, it's a little offshoot area. I don't make it pretty. I just make it look like it's because it's not on show. It's kind of just like the normal brick with a normal sort of like roof. And then the top here, we're going to do again slight flat roof, but it's going to have like the greenhouse kind of triangles at the top to let in loads of sunlight and to help with the heat and things like this. And then we'll just have it sort of like raised out a little bit and add stone columns. So it just adds a bit more 3D texture to the front. So it's not just one like flat side. And basically just slowly go around adding more 3D texture to it, because sometimes I notice when I look at my old buildings they just look very flat and plain on the outside, so I try and add some of that, like I said, I call it 3D texturing. I feel like that's what it's called. I don't know what the actual term for it is. And then again we do the same on the inside. I use these to make it look like it's support columns for the building, and again it just adds that sort of 3D texture to the wall rather than keeping it flat, and just makes it a little bit interesting, adds a bit of story to it, as it were, in the sense of this is what's keeping your roof up, and it's not collapsing in on the animal. It's not just some sort of like hollow box sort of placed around of an environment, and just add something extra to it. It looks good in the photos you get or screenshots you get in the background, and it just, like I said, it just tells like a slight story for yourself. Anyways, the idea behind it is going to have this like very tropical indoor area, lots of plants and things like that. I get one of the leopards in there so I can do the easy way of getting my plants rather than going back and forth and selecting each one. Try and make the beds like fit in so they can sort of walk over it from one side to the other, and then add a few different beds to that. I do like making the raised cat beds. Then we had like lots of different like climbing opportunities into the enclosure. Again, this was another animal that surprised me. Like I keep forgetting, like ever since I did the Siamang enclosure, that creatures can actually climb the normal trees, and it still takes me by surprise. A bit later on, the leopard climbs up a tree. I'm like, wait, what? I spent ages putting like a little bit of a climbing frame at the back for it to just be able to climb all the trees in there. So yeah, that was interesting for me. I had like loads of enrichment to the corners as well and things like this, because I do enjoy watching the animals use the enrichment, and I'm trying to make it fit in with the rest of the enclosure. And it's just fun going around when they're doing their thing, watching them like use all the different enrichments and the different kind of interactions. Now, my challenge here was to plant lots of plants so it's jungly, but not too jungly that you can't see the creatures running around their enclosures. And as well, I've got to be like kind of wary that it's not poking through the ceiling, because obviously these aren't really like that tall a building, and some of the trees just go straight through the ceiling, which is it's something I don't really want. It ruins the look a little bit, so I was like trying to figure out what's best, where to place it. Can I make it go down into the ground without it looking a bit weird and a bit wacky? So it might have helped, to be honest, if I just built my own trees, like thinking about it, using the dead plants or the dead logs, and then adding my own stuff to that. But I didn't think about that in the time. So I'm just like trying to find which tree fits best, how to place it so it's not too sticking out of the ceiling, as it were. And as well, going around the building, making sure it's not sticking through the walls. Add a bit of rockery here and there as well, so it's just like lots of different vibes. It makes the enclosure feel a bit different, and there's like attention to detail inside of it. And I really enjoyed making this. A bit like, I think I've got my mouse sensitivity too high, because sometimes I'll move a bit and I go flying through the wall. I'm like, oh, what? Trying to like get back into the enclosure to where I was to place what I wanted down in the location I wanted it. Came a bit of a nightmare, so I'm gonna have to go into my settings and lower my mouse settings a little bit so I'm not flying around so much. But yeah, I really did enjoy like just adding like going through all the plants that they like and sort of place them here, there, everywhere, and because sometimes I do try and make it so the enclosures are just full of plants that that creature likes. I know it's sandbox and it doesn't really matter, but it's still kind of nice using what plants they prefer rather than just what I prefer. Occasionally I do just like, this creature doesn't like plants, so I'm going to do my own thing. Like I think it was the penguin enclosure for when I made the penguin island. I was like, yeah, they don't like plants, but I want plants in this island. I'm not having a naked island, as it were. So I went around, added my own plants to it. But yeah, we're gonna make some like viewing gallery area, just some like slight shelter, and then I can put these really funky statues. I really like the statues that came in the conservation pack. They look really cool and very cartoony. But yeah, it was just so nice watching them like roam around the enclosure using enrichment. Like, I absolutely love these. They look so cute. And I think I got a social interaction recorded. I can't really remember, but it was just nice watching them like do cat things. Really, like they're so cute when they're sleeping. I don't know why they haven't used the bedding area yet and they just chose to sleep in the middle of the floor. I don't know if it's just like a choice to use the bedding or if it's like there's something wrong with that bedding. When I look on the heat map, it does like show that they can use it. So I don't know. But yeah, it was nice seeing like the different perspective from like the viewing areas. Like it does look very tropical, very greenhouse, like sort of like Eden project inside. Especially like the different levels, different plants knocking about, making those like sort of paths using the dirt brush, so it looks like that they've moved through that area a fair bit. It does like just adds a lot of interesting story to it, and it's just nice watching them roam around. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you a little inspiration. I think a bit later on the week I will add this to the workshop. I think I've already done it. I can't really remember. This is the problem. I always forget if I've added it to the workshop or if I haven't. So if you do want to use it, it will be on there. If you, I think I think it's on there. I think it's on there already, but that's only if you want to use it, that is. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this and it's given you a little inspiration for your builds. Until next time, I'll see you later.